Springs Cave is the cave of Florida, which gave birth to a terrible disaster in the cave tragedy. In 1999, some of the world's most famous and experienced divers, Parker Turner and Bill Gavin, go to the Indian Springs Cave to make a map of the cave. But friends, they never thought that they would be in the cave with them, which has never happened in the history of the cave. Many people were disturbed by this tragedy because this tragedy happened with the world's greatest divers. You have to watch this video carefully and fully because this video will make you face a truth that you have never seen before. So let's know what happened to these two divers in the cave. This is a cave in Florida's Woodville Castle ground, which is called the Indian Springs Cave. This underwater cave looks like a normal pond to you from above, but you can't even imagine how deep and dangerous this cave is from below. In fact, friends, this Indian Springs Cave is the largest cave in America, which is spread from Florida's Tallahassee to the Gulf of Mexico. But no one has explored this cave completely till date, because whoever tries to explore this cave, all of them die in the cave. And those who survive, they have not fully explored the Indian Springs Cave. But today, that is, on November 17, 1991, one of the founders of WKPP, Parker Turner, with his friend Bill Gavin and his group, came to the Woodville Castle ground with the Woodville Castle Plan Project, where their plan was that they would explore the Indian Springs Cave with their group and make a map of this cave and put it in front of the world. But friends, none of them had any idea that what is going to happen to them inside the cave. In the time of 1990, Parker Turner and Bill Gavin were the most experienced and famous divers in the world. They have made many records in cave diving, so many people consider them their idol. But these people wouldn't have thought about it at all, that their team is going to lose their lives due to a mistake. Before entering the cave, the WKPP group made 3 teams, in which the first team goes inside the cave and lays a line a little far from the entrance of the cave. After this, Team 2, in which George Irwin and Lama Inglis were also the most famous and experienced cave divers of that time. These two also go inside the cave and put an oxygen tank a little far on the way to the cave. After this, finally, Parker Turner and Bill Gavin are ready to go inside the cave. These two had to go deep into the cave and make a map of this whole cave. The way these two divers were going to dive inside the cave is called technical diving. In this, they will need 2 types of gas mixture, which is nitrogen and oxygen, and then they will switch to oxygen-helium and nitrogen premix at the deepest part of the cave to reduce nitrogen narcosis. Parker Turner and Bill Gavin go down into the cave, and within about 40 minutes they reach a depth of 140 feet, where they find a way called Esquire. This way is so thin that only one diver can go at a time. This way is like a maze. After about 1.5 hours, Parker and Bill reach a depth of 300 feet, where both stop for 25 minutes and make a map. Till this time, they are using oxygen gas. After spending a few hours in the cave, Parker and Bill decide that this is a good time to get out of the cave. But they have no idea what is going to happen to them. Now one of them is going to die a painful death. Their journey back from the cave was going very easy and good. But when they go a little further, they notice that the water is decreasing and some pots are floating in the water, because of which they are having a lot of trouble looking ahead. But as they were moving forward in the water, they were becoming less visible due to the dust in the water. They did not understand what was happening. Still, both the divers were entering the dust. But now you know that they were going to see something that they were going to be afraid of. They were moving forward holding that rope that Team 1 had put in the cave. This made it clear that Parker and Bill were moving forward on the right path, but when they move forward on this rocky road, they see that the road ahead is blocked. They did not understand how this happened, because when they entered the cave from this road, there was no problem on the way. Parker and Bill were very confused, and this was the fear that how to move forward, because if they stay here, they will die here due to the lack of oxygen in the cylinder. That's why Parker Turner and Bill Gavin communicate on their slate, which they carried to make the map. Parker told Bill Gavin that he would have to find another way out of the cave, because the road has become very thin due to the soil. That's why Parker Turner told Bill Gavin to stop near the road and went to find another way. Bill Gavin stops near the road and starts waiting for Parker Turner. But a few minutes passed, but Parker did not come back. Bill knew that if he stayed here, both would die. But still, he kept waiting for Parker for a long time. But friends Parker did not come back. Now while waiting, Bill's oxygen was about to run out. That's why Bill Gavin thought that if he stayed here, he would die like this. That's why I try to get out of the road, blocked by the soil. That's the reason Bill Gavin starts getting into the road, blocked by the soil. He was feeling a lot of pressure on his body to get into the soil. He thought that maybe I will die here in the soil. But still, he was getting into the way. You know, after a lot of hard work, Bill Gavin came out on the other side. As soon as the block came out of the way, his oxygen ran out. And now you know this story is going to be even more interesting, because now we are going to find out how this road was blocked, and could they both survive? On the other hand, the supporter team dives into the water to check the routine, and see inside the water that the cylinder they had put in the water is still there. After a while, the supporter divers come out of the water. One of them says that maybe I saw Parker Turner in the water. The other says that maybe I saw Bill Gavin in the water. He was shaking his hand. But they are suspicious that if we saw one diver, then where is the other driver? They understood that there was something wrong inside the cave. That's why he went back inside the cave. George Irwin saw Bill Gavin hanging in the water halfway through the entrance of the cave. Bill Gavin was still breathing slowly. George tries to see how much gas is left in Bill Gavin's cylinder. So he saw that the slate that Bill Gavin had was written in it. Parker is dead. George was very scared to see this. He goes inside the water and tries to find Parker. Despite searching for about an hour in the cave, George did not find Parker anywhere. So when George came out of the water, he saw that the police and the rescue team had come there. And it seemed that there was a crime here. The rescue team also went inside the cave and tried to find Parker. But despite searching for many hours, Parker was nowhere to be found. Now your question will be that how did that road get blocked in the water? This question was not only yours, but it was going on in the mind of every person standing near the cave. A lot of research was done on it, but no one got the answer. No one was able to solve this mystery, that how did this road get blocked? Then after 20 years of this tragedy, 3 scientists from Florida State University solved this mystery through a simple experiment. According to the report of Professor Dorenoff of Florida State University, Team 2 of WKPP Group, in which George Irwin and Lamar Inglis were there, when they were coming out of the cave by putting a cylinder in the way, so to avoid decompression, both of them stop in a small pocket. And when these two were standing in this pocket, meanwhile, Parker Turner and Bill Gavin jump into the water to make a map. You can see in this animation image that when Parker Turner and Bill Gavin reach here, then George and Inglis come out of the pocket and start going up. But they both forgot that these rocks of the cave are made of limestone, due to which they collapse even if they touch a little. When George and Inglis were going up to get out of the cave, so they were taking a deep breath, because of which water bubbles were coming out quickly, and these bubbles were hitting the limestone rocks. This is the reason that these rocks collapsed, and the road was blocked. Bill Gavin was saved, but Parker Turner died in this accident. By that time, these two were very experienced divers, but their experience did not work here. I hope you liked this video too. Recently, a rescue operation was carried out in Rajasthan to save a girl, but this rescue operation proved to be a black mark in the history of India. You can click here to watch this video.